Let's change it back. Alright, yeah, that looks a little cooler. What's up, you guys? Shortmas Prime here doing another Marvel Select figure review on the Marvel Select Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man. This is the first edition that we have right here out of 3. There's going to be 2 other ones. There's one with the Andrew Garfield head, which I have, and then there's going to be another one where it comes with the same display base that we saw in the Amazing Spider-Man 1 Marvel Select Spider-Man figure. And if you're trying to pick up this figure and you cannot find it at your local comic book shop, you can find it at Big Bad Toy Store.
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
So we have the standard Marvel Select packaging, and we have a picture of Spider-Man right down there, and you know, he comes with all these accessories. We get a picture of Spider-Man on the side, and then we get a big picture of Spider-Man on the back. That looks really cool. I like that. And we also get the synopsis of the movie on the back of the packaging over here, and turn around this side, there's not much going on, except at the very top it says ages 8 and up. Anyway, let's get to it and crack this thing open. So here's Spidey out of the packaging, and I think he's a pretty cool looking figure. I like the sculpting and the paint applications, they all look cool, but the thing is that the articulation isn't so hot, so I'm not really satisfied with the articulation overall. I think it was better on the first Amazing Spider-Man figure, but I really like how the sculpt and paint apps came out on this one, and the way they sculpted the body, it really reminds me a lot more of Andrew Garfield compared to the Marvel Select Amazing Spider-Man figure, so I think they did a good job on this. Overall, he comes with a ton of accessories, so let's take a closer look at those, and then we'll take a closer look at this figure. So the figure comes with 10 different hands, 4 pairs of hands. So you can see we have these flipping hands right over here. You can actually detach the webs on these if you wish, so I think that is pretty nifty. You can just put it right back there. And then these two right here do not match. These are the 2 hands that don't match. One, you can plug in a web line right in there, and this one is for holding the fire hose, so that works out pretty well. And then these 2 are fist hands, and then we have these 2 weird thumbs up hands, which I think are the most useless. I don't know, they're kind of weird to me. And then we have these 2 wall crawling hands over here. I hope you can see that clearly, but the wall crawling hands and the fisted hands have hinges that move up and down with the palms. The grabbing hands and the thumbs up hands have hinges that move side to side that go along with the thumb. And then the flipping hands can only be rotated. They have no hinge at all. And then Spidey comes with 2 web lines. He comes with an 11.5-inch web line right here, and then the 15.5 web line right here. And you can actually attach them together, which is pretty neat. So they have these little clips, and you can just interlock them. They clip onto each other, and then you can make one really large web line, which is kind of neat, and this isn't too hard. There it goes, not too bad. Now, I just reviewed the spaghetti webs, and I like how those look better than this, especially like how the loops are too symmetrical. I think they could have gone a little bit more random, but it doesn't look bad. You know, we still have some nice sculpted detail in these webbings. You know, I really wish these web lines had a bendy wire in them. It'd be great if these were posable, but unfortunately, nope. If you want some bendy wires, you gotta get your spaghetti webs. And then here's the one end that plugs into that one right fist that does not match the fire hose holding hand, and he seems to grip this pretty well. And then he comes with his fireman's hat and a fire hose that doesn't really attach to anything. I like the paint detail on this though. Love the silver dry brushing. That looks great. You also get this articulated hinge right here for him to grab onto if you want to. There's the end of the nozzle. Looks pretty good. Nice detail. Then here's the hat. Nice glossy black paint over here. It says Fire Department, number 22 right there. Hey, that's the date of my birthday. I was born on the 22nd of September. And then we have some sculpted lines right here at the top of the helmet. And you can see it fits pretty well on Spidey's head, so that's pretty cool. Doesn't come off. And for the left hand only, we have this hose holding hand, and it fits right there. So there you go. Putting out fire, Spider-Man. Good job. Was this everyone's favorite part of the movie? No, I don't think it was anyone's favorite part of the movie. So I get a pretty decent head sculpt on Spider-Man over here. I really think it resembles how he looked in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie. Not too bad. I like that we have shading right there for his eyepieces. It's pretty tough to tell that it's there, but there is some shading. Just going around the outside of the eye part over there on the mask, you can see it's a little darker, so it's a little tricky to see, but it is there. So I don't really have any complaints about it, but to get really nitpicky about it, there are some points where the lines don't match up perfectly. For instance, like at the very top of the head over here, you could see that, yeah, it doesn't line up exactly. I mean, come on though, man. I mean, really, for the most part, I think that's pretty clean. But throughout the figure, there are some parts where the line work doesn't get painted all the way through. So like you can see right there on the shoulder, It's kind of like missing, the paint and the sculpt aren't totally aligned, but I think overall the accuracy is pretty good and it's not really much to complain about. I think the paint matches the sculpting a little better on this figure than the Amazing Spider-Man 1 figure. I like how the blue part of the suit has that cool shingled texture to it. I think that's nice, and we have some nice shading in there too. I really like that lighter blue over the darker blue. I think that looks really cool. And one thing that people had mentioned about the Marvel Legends Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure is that those are actually indented lines and these are protruding lines, as they should be. So this is the more film accurate version of Amazing Spider-Man 2 action figure. And then again, it's with that shading, and then we have the boots right over there. Look pretty good. Nothing really to complain about with the boots. Figure's painted black at the bottom of his feet, and he does have peg holes at the bottom. And yeah, you can see the line work does get just a little shoddy, but really, I mean, for the most part, I like how this looks. I think they did a pretty good job here. And you're looking at the spider butt and the spider logo on the back. Remember at the beginning of the movie? I thought that was a great opening, by the way, one of my favorite parts of the movie. Now, I'm a little disappointed in the articulation of the figure only because the Amazing Spider-Man 1 figure seems to have more range of movement overall throughout that figure. But this guy, you know, they all have 16 points of articulation, so, you know. Anyway, the head rotates side to side over here. You can't really move his head up too much. You can pop it off, though. There is the Andrew Garfield variant that I will be reviewing later on. And I'm trying to basically pop this off and half it on here in a way where you could get him to look up. But damn it, this is not really fun. Oh yeah, taking some might. There it goes, right back on there. So, you know, halving it, it can look up a little bit like that. I wouldn't recommend trying to pop this head off. I don't know, we'll see how easy it is on the Andrew Garfield head. Maybe they have some different pieces in there or something like that. He can look down pretty well. You can move his head side to side, and you get a little bit of neck pivot in there too, so that's pretty cool. You get shoulders that can move outward that much. You can rotate forward. He has no bicep swivel. He has an elbow that could bend in that much, rotates the elbow, and then I already went over the wrist articulation, by the way. Oh, one thing I didn't really talk about over here is that the web shooters, they don't really have much paint detail on them at all. You can tell they're sculpted there, but there's nothing really going on with the web shooters. And if you want him, you know, looking accurate, like he's firing the web shooters, it kind of looks a little weird sometimes, I think. I don't know. Not too bad, actually. But I digest. His torso joint can move forward a little bit right there under the diaphragm, and it can move back a little bit as well. Not too much, really. I wish we had more movement over here. You can rotate side to side and a little bit of a shifting pivot, but not too much. Really good leg articulation. I'm very happy with the leg articulation. He can do the full-on splits, actually even higher than that. Woo, he's been, oh god, that looks like it hurts. And then he can kick all the way up like this, too, so that's pretty cool. He breaks anatomy. You know, Todd McFarlane would like that. He has an upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, no calf rotation like the Amazing Spider-Man 1 figure, but his ankles move down, up, and he's got the beautiful ankle pivot. This being a Marvel Select figure, he stands at 7 inches tall as he should. And here he is compared to the Amazing Spider-Man 1 Marvel Select figure. And even though this guy is a lot less film accurate than this guy over here, I think I still like this figure more. I like the articulation more, and I think I like the build more. Even though it is less film accurate, I think this guy looks a lot more like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. And here he is next to the Marvel Legends Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure, and right after I'm done talking about how film accurate this figure is, this guy has, I think, the more film accurate color blue on the figure. So, yeah, I kind of got to take that one back, but I still really like how the Marvel Select version looks, even though I love the articulation on this guy over here. And luckily, this guy does not have these weird looking hip joints. Ew. And here he is next to the regular comic version of the Marvel Select Spider-Man figure, and I feel like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume is so comic accurate that you can make this your comic book Spider-Man figure. This guy is a bit outdated over here. It was cool for what we had at the time, but yeah, this one's a much better figure for sure. And of course, here he is next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. So even though this is not my favorite Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man figure, I still like it. I really like how it looks. It's going to be cool on display, so I'm happy with it. Just not as happy with it as I was with the Marvel Legends version, so I still like it, but still not my favorite Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spidey figure. Anyway, please go to MarvelousNews.com if you want to participate in my 50,000 subscribers contest. Leave a comment over there. Leave a comment over here. Hit the like button if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
That's crispy.
And of course, here he is next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man.